Okay, class, let's pick up from our walk forward animation to walk towards the camera animation. All right, so let's first expand our animation here so that we have more than 16 frames. Remember that, let me select our walk forward reference right here, and we can, well, let me rename this first, okay? Walk to camera animation, okay? So our reference right here, remember that this is frame 15 right here, and since we're animating in twos, the next one will be 17, so 17 will be this guy right here repeating again, right? So let's hide our reference now, we don't need it, okay? So, and we need our walk to camera, okay? So I'm in object mode right now, we're in grease pencil here. Let me give it a little bit of height right here so we can see it. Let me extend our animation so that we can go pretty close to like 5 seconds here. Okay, so instead of 16, I'm gonna go 128. Okay, so it's that long now. All right, so let me zoom in here so you could see where 17 would be. So that's frame 17 right there. So if I select all this, okay, Shift D and drag that, the very first one to 17, we now doubled the length of our animation. Okay, and that would be 31, so that would be 33 right there. So if I press A here to select everything, Shift D to copy, and then drag my mouse here until, oops, I dragged that too far. So Shift D, okay, and drag it to 33 right there. Okay, and because it needs to skip that, right? So 31, 32, 33. Okay, so the next one would be 63. So 65, I press A, Shift D, drag it to 65 right there. And then, yeah, that should do it. So it'll go to 127, then 128, it'll cycle. So this is our animation now. We have now extended it, okay? All right, so now let's do some animation here. We are in grease pencil. Okay, let's switch to dope sheet. Okay, so that we have access to our animation using transform. All right, so let's go to frame 1 first. We have our auto keyframe. Okay, let's shrink our character right here so it would look like it's much farther in the back. All right, so let's turn on our sidebar. Let's go to items, and we're looking at scale. Okay, so I'm going to highlight all this. I'm going to click and drag my mouse until I have all of them selected. Let's just animate our character in half, right? So in size, 0.5, oh, not 45, 0.5. Okay, so by doing that, we shrunk it, but it's still not keyframed. Okay, we can right click here and then insert single keyframe right there, or we can do all. Okay, or if we press K right now on the keyboard and then hit scale. So we animated the stroke and we shrunk it to 0.5 on frame 1. Okay, so now let's go to the end of our animation walk, okay, which is 128. We want to change our scale to 2.0. So we doubled. So we shrunk it 100%, and then we doubled it 100% in size. Okay, so our character got this big, and since auto keyframe, it's already animated for you. So if I play this now, all right, there's our character kind of walking towards the camera. However, it looks like it's going to be sliding at the end right here, like it's like stepping on something. Okay, because our default on the curve function curve, the interpolation is on slow, so it's slowing down at its nearing the end. Okay, so let's take a look what this looks like in our graph editor so we can fix it. Okay, so we're in dope sheet right here. I'm going to stop the animation. Let's go to anywhere, doesn't matter. Let's go to our click here. Let's go to our graph editor. Okay, dope sheet. Oh yeah, you can't see it from there. You got to go here, graph editor. All right, so this is our graph editor here, and then we're looking at it from the XYZ position, right? So I'm going to press A to select all, hit tilde, frame all, so we get to see our curve right here. Okay, So our issue right here is that when it's starting to get close to the end, it starts sliding because it's slowing down. This is a slow curve right here. This is fine. However, at the beginning, we want it to kind of start slow right there, okay? And then it picked up in speed, all right? So we might even slow it down a little bit. So watch this one. I'm going to drag a rectangle to select the handle right there. I'm going to go GX. So I just want to grab an X-axis only. So I'm going to grab it here. So I'm going to slow it down some more at the beginning. Okay. So it's, there you go. So it's not too fast kind of starting. However, here we want to do the reverse. Okay. We don't want it fast. We want it a little bit linear. So I'm going to press G here and let's park our playhead right here so you could actually see that. So I'm going to press G and then kind of even that out a little bit like that. Not too linear, but let's see how that looks like. Remember, it was sliding before. Let's see if we fix that. All right, much better. Why don't we make that parallel? Okay, much better, I think. Let's take a look. A little bit more sliding in there, but that's fine. All right, and that's all you have to do. So now you've learned how to animate in object mode with your animation. So you can animate by hand, frame by frame inside Grease Pencil. You can tweak that in edit mode, but once you go to object mode, you have another layer of animation because, again, this is Blender 3D, and all these things are in 3D space. You just happen to be viewing it within the camera of Grease Pencil, but in reality, these are 3D objects. Okay, so it didn't really go like that, like forward, because we scaled it. Okay, so we did the scaling on the character. All right, we can also scale your character really going forward towards the camera, okay? And that involves parallax. So we will do that lesson later on. So this is just a quick, cheesy scale animation and function curve correction, okay? Because again, we'll do this later with our parallax lesson. You can move this one forward like so, and it'll look like it's physically moving forward, okay? All right, let me go back here. Let's take a look. All right, so after part one, this is part two of the walk towards the camera lesson now. Okay, again, you have to do this using your own character design. The homework doesn't stop there. You're going to have to add certain elements to this. I'm going to turn off my, okay, we're going to add a new grease pencil. Well, in object mode. Where's my grease pencil? Right there. Let's go with blank, okay? And what you need to do is you want this, you want to create some sort of background for this one. So let's go to our drawing, okay? So on frame one, you can just draw like a yellow brick road kind of design, or, you know, because this character is just going kind of straight. So you can draw, and I'm using my mouse here, okay? Do better. Okay, that's probably needs to be a lot wider relative to this size right there, okay? So let's cheat here a bit and use the line tools. All right, I think that's much better kind of perspective spread, maybe a little bit more, but okay. And then add some horizon lines if you want to. Okay, and you know, maybe some mountains. However you want to design your background, that it's appropriate to your character. Okay, so that concludes our lesson, and that will be your homework for this week. All right.